Hello, hello. All right, so I'm back and I am ready to teach you how to make the best chocolate cake ever. The great news about this chocolate cake is that it also makes excellent cupcakes. So most of the time, any cake recipe you can easily convert to cupcakes if you didn't know that. It's the same recipe. You're just putting it in a cupcake pan instead of a cake pan. I lost my train of thought because I thought of something I didn't do for this video already and I hadn't even done anything. Okay, so chocolate cake coming up. So the things, this recipe I just kind of have down in my head. If you were in my culinary class, you know this is kind of our go-to, and we do a lot of things with this chocolate cake. So you should be familiar with this recipe. For the others, I love this recipe because it's a one bowl recipe. Now I have set out all of my ingredients just for ease and for to kind of condense things on this video so you don't have to see me scrambling around my kitchen getting everything together. But it is a lot easier if you do get everything together. It's just if you want to do all the dishes or not. So I have my mise en place ready. I have all of my ingredients here, and I'm just going to go over them with you real quick so you see what I'm working with. My mixing bowl, because at the end I am going to mix this on my stand mixer. It's super easy to mix by hand too, so don't feel like you have to have a stand mixer. What I have, I'm gonna save those for in a minute. I've got sugar, 2 cups of sugar. I actually am doubling this recipe, so this is a lie. I'm telling you the single recipe yield here, or ingredients here. 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of sugar, 3/4 cup of cocoa. You've got 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a teaspoon and a half of baking soda, a teaspoon of salt, and then a teaspoon of vanilla, 2 eggs, and a half a cup of oil, a cup of buttermilk, and then you will need a cup of super hot coffee at the very end. I have my coffee brewed and ready to go. If you don't have coffee or you don't want to waste your precious coffee commodities, boiling hot water is just fine. The thing is that chocolate and coffee go hand in hand, and you don't really taste the coffee in the cake, but it makes the chocolate taste more chocolatey. It just really, what's the word I'm looking for? It enhances the chocolate flavor of anything. So another thing that I'm doing, I told you we had 2 eggs in this recipe, but the store, I don't know if it's like this where y'all are, but our stores have been way low on eggs. So they had egg whites, which is fine. I can use that by itself. So I've got I've got egg whites, the appropriate substitute, on the back of the carton. But the yolk, really, in baking, the yolk is really important for the texture of your baked goods. So I'm also going to put in a little bit of unsweetened applesauce. I'm not putting in the whole cup. I'm just going to put in probably half of this, which is about 1/4 of a cup. And so this is what's going to substitute for my eggs, just so I can try and keep that texture pretty similar to what it was. Again, so one of the reasons why this is my favorite chocolate cake recipe is because I can mix it all together in one bowl, and I don't have to have lots of separate bowls. This recipe, I originally found a chocolate cake recipe on Just a Pinch, which is a blog recipe website. She has a ton of really, really good recipes on there. This chocolate cake one I experimented with, and then I kind of changed it up. Her recipe calls for milk, regular milk. I made buttermilk. If you watched the buttermilk biscuit recipe earlier, again, didn't have any buttermilk, but I made some just using regular whole milk, and some lemon juice is what I use. You can also use white vinegar. So just a little splash of either one of those in your milk and let it sit for 5 minutes or so, and it'll be perfect as a buttermilk substitute. So a lot of times, if you're rationing ingredients and things like that, totally understand. Most of these are pantry staples, so you probably have them on hand. And a cupcake always makes everybody feel better. So, one moment. All right, so sorry about that. I had a phone call from the school. But I'm gonna go ahead and put all of my dry ingredients in my mixing bowl. So I'm putting in my flour, my sugar right there, my flour. I'm adding in my cocoa powder, my baking soda, baking powder, and my salt. So then I'm just going to whisk that together just to kind of incorporate those and get everything kind of evened out. You can do this in your stand mixer. You can do this in your stand mixer as well. Just be sure that you start it on low. Otherwise, you're going to be inhaling a lot of things you don't want to inhale. Make you sneeze. And then people are going to think you got the coronas when you're sneezing. So so I have everything. I have all my dry ingredients. You can see that they're all mixed together there. I'm about to dump this out on the table. You can tell that they're all mixed together, whisked together there, so that everything is evenly distributed. And I'm going to add my liquids. I'm going to add my eggs. Again, generally the recipe just calls for biscuit eaters. Just dump my vanilla everywhere. Calls for 2 eggs, but we're doing some substitution here, so no worries. I've got my applesauce and my egg. Let me go get a refill real quick on my vanilla since I just dumped it everywhere. I'm gonna put that in there. I'm gonna add my vegetable oil. I'm going to add my buttermilk, and then I'm going to go mix these together on my stand mixer just so everything gets wet equally and it's all just kind of even. This is going to be thick. When I come back, you'll notice that this batter is going to be really, really thick until I add in my coffee. So give me just a sec. Let me go mix it up. I'll be right back to show you. Okay, this is dumb because obviously my laptop can move to watch the video, and that's how the video can move. Alright, so I'm gonna start this on real low on my mixer, and don't close you out again. Just mixing away. You really just want to just incorporate your dry ingredients into the wet. You don't really want to overmix it, because again, if you overmix your batters, your doughs, things like that, it really affects the texture of whatever it is that you're baking. So I'm going to scrape down the sides of my bowl, bottom of my bowl, and just make sure everything from the bottom gets stirred in. Everything gets off the sides here. All right, so we're good. So you can see right here that this batter is really, dang it, this batter is really thick right now. Okay, that's good. That's how you want it. We are about to add our coffee, or again, boiling hot water if you don't have hot coffee. And it's going to turn this into a pretty thin and runny cake batter, which is perfect. That's how it's supposed to be. So I've been having coffee withdrawals. Normally Officer Mosley makes our coffee for us in the morning, and apparently I've been really spoiled and I didn't even realize it, but for some reason it seems like it's such a struggle to get up and make my own coffee in the morning at the house now. So Officer Mosley, if you see this, if you just want to roll over, I mean, I don't even wake up early, so he could roll over, I don't know, what, 10 o'clock? Come on over, make me some coffee, man. Anywho, Mose would be laughing. If you know Officer Mosley, you know he's laughing right now, saying there's no way that would ever happen. All right, so I'm turning my mixer on low, and I'm going to slowly pour in my hot coffee. Okay, way, pouring it in slowly. This is gonna, you know, if your egg for whatever reason wasn't thoroughly mixed in, this will hopefully keep it from putting scrambled eggs in your cake batter. But I'm just pouring it in a slow stream. Let me do it over here so you can actually see what I'm doing. This seems like a lot of liquid because it is. And that's okay. Again, we want a thin, runny batter. Oh, hold on just a sec. I have a visitor and she's bringing me lunch. So, give me just a second. Okay, so continuing on. I had just poured in the coffee and I'm about to start. You want to see bubbles come up to the top because that means that it's building air in there. And so once those bubbles start to form, you're good to stop it. Otherwise, about a minute. If you're a timer person, set it for about a minute. Do it on about medium strength. So here we go. Sorry for the noise. Okay, so I got my bubbles in here. I paused you so you didn't have to listen to the mixer for a whole minute. But anyway, got my bubbles going. I don't know if you can see them in there. It's kind of dark, but going to bring you back over here to my prep tables. Going on a trip in a little rocket ship. Here, me singing would be the only thing worse than like me trying to teach you guys how to do something here. Okay, so at some point in time very recently, okay, so I am making 2 8-inch round cakes, and then I'm going to put cupcake liners and the rest in my cupcake pans and do the rest of my batter with cupcakes because, again, cupcakes make everybody feel better. So I'm going to go on a cupcake run. Start hearing about people having cupcakes left on their doorsteps. I guess it's going to be me. I don't know. So I'm just taking a scoop. You want to have an equal amount of batter in each cake so that they're the same height. I usually fill it to about halfway full, halfway up the cake pan. Oh, I should show you. So I put parchment paper on the bottom of my cake pans. This way it keeps the cake from sticking whenever it comes out of the oven, and after it cools it's really easy to flip out of there. And then I just greased the edges just to help the batter not stick. I don't have any pan spray up here right now, so butter it is. Just skipping here. Okay, so I filled that just past halfway in that cake pan, and I'm going to put the same amount in the second cake pan. I'm making a birthday cake for my mother-in-law and her for something. I don't know who it's for, but all right, so we've got our 2 cake pans here. You can see that they're filled. These are pretty thin cake pans, so I filled them a little over halfway on each one, and then I'm going to fill my cupcake tins. I'm going to put liners in my cupcake tins real quick and get those ready to go. I'll show you how to do that in just a sec. Okay, so I've put cupcake liners in all of my cupcake tins here, and I like to use a trigger scoop for my cupcakes just so they get the same amount. My one I normally use is actually dirty right now, but I'm going to put a couple of scoops in here. You don't want to fill these all the way up. You've got to leave room at the top for the rise and for the dome, but well, a little bit of a dome. I guess technically you don't need a dome, but this is a small trigger scoop. I like to do 2 scoops in each one. Now then, if you have not ever done cupcakes before, this is a way to make sure that all of your cupcakes are going to be equal and that they are all going to have the same size. I, for the sake of time, am going to use my little measuring cup, just a third or a quarter of a measuring cup, and then I can kind of knock it out a little bit faster. But again, you just want to fill it up about halfway up the cupcake tin so that it has room to rise. Otherwise, you will end up with a big sloppy mess all over your cupcake pan and possibly in your oven. But the biggest issue with that is that when you try and take them out of the cupcake tin, they will be stuck in there around the edges and they're not going to want to come out. And we don't really want that. So let me show you just real quick, up close and personal. See, I'm just filling them just about halfway on each thing there. So I'm gonna do this real quick and get that knocked out, and we'll take the next step. Okay, friends, I'm back. I have taken out the cakes and cupcakes out of the oven, cooked them at 350 for the cupcakes go about 15 to 18 minutes. You want to check them. If you start smelling them, you need to go check them, and you want the tops to just barely spring back. Okay, if they look like they might still be a little jiggly in the center, go on ahead, leave them in there for a minute or two, but don't forget about them because nobody wants a dry cupcake. My cakes turned out well. They are flat, so I don't have to do a whole lot of leveling. A little bit there, that one's a little off. But currently they're just kind of cooling. Obviously I can't frost them when they're hot or the frosting will melt. I've got my cupcakes back here in the distance somewhere. Oh, they're there. Yep. And I actually put a batch of cupcakes in the freezer so that they would cool off quickly, so that I can show you how to frost it. I'm going to do a separate video for my buttercream frosting, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that on the next one. But anyway, hope you enjoy your chocolate cake. Again, I'll post the recipe along with this video. I would love to see how it turns out for you. Happy cooking, friends.